What's going on, everybody? Vince Goodrum here. It is Sunday afternoon. Just got back from brunch, and I was checking over the pictures from the Ferrigno Pro Legacy, as well as the NPC Nationals that recently happened this weekend. But I wanted to touch base on a incident that actually happened at the NPC Nationals, to where Dave Palumbo was actually kicked out of the NPC Nationals. Now, I read into the events and asked a bunch of questions about it there, and quite frankly, I'm kind of really disappointed into the events that's happened there. First and foremost there, and I'm just going to make it really brief for you guys here. The promoter of the event, Steve Molly, he has every right to kick anyone out. I mean, after all, it is his money, and it is his promotional event there. So if he doesn't want someone there, that's perfectly fine. But, you have to consider the circumstances of what actually occurred there. And this is all over, Dave Palumbo obviously filming in the backstage there of the NPC Nationals there. From what I understand, he had asked permission in advance there for it, which doesn't surprise me one bit. First and foremost, Dave Palumbo is 50 years old there. He has a pretty bad leg, so the last thing you want to have him doing is running around and messing up. I mean, he's not an 18-year-old kid. None of us are, though. So it's pretty clear that he would ask for permission to be backstage, so that way he's not running around. But more importantly, Dave, he spent a lot of time promoting the hell out of the NPC Nationals, and for him to get kicked out of the event is kind of shameful there. And what's even worse about it is that he actually had a police escort there for him out of there. I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous in my opinion there, to have a police escort take him out there. I mean, I can understand if he was fist fighting there, but in terms of an event itself, you could have simply just told him to leave, of course. But the police escort, that is way over the top, unprofessional, and in my opinion, uncalled for. And I've worked in law enforcement before. You don't need a police escort for something like that, as trivial as it. But the big thing about the NPC Nationals is that, remember, Dave Palumbo runs RX Muscle there. And in terms of turning out people for the event itself, you need all the help that you can get. And there's not that many major bodybuilding forms out there, and RX Muscle is the #1 bodybuilding form. So I think Steve Molly, while it is his right to go and kick whoever he wants out of it, I think he's made a humongous mistake. And I think the incident as whole could have been properly resolved at the very end. But obviously there was no room to talk, and Dave Palumbo was kicked out. Like I said, it's the promoter's right to do it, but I think it was a really bad call on his part. Like I said before, Dave Palumbo is 50 years old. He can't be running around. He has a bad leg, so I can see him actually not wanting to stay backstage there. And he had asked in permission in advance about staying backstage there in order to film the athletes here. So there wasn't anything that was actually done wrong. And then to compound the issue itself, he goes and gets a police escort out. I mean, like I said, Steve Molly, I mean, the promoter itself, that's his decision, but, it's going to come back on to you there in terms of future promotions there, because, when you have someone that's got your back and he's promoting your show and event there, treat him with a little bit of respect there, for crying out loud. I mean, that's all I got to say really on this matter here. So, again, I'm highly disappointed in the incident that went down in the NPC Nationals. And I have to say, shame on you, Steve, because, this was completely uncalled for. You could have left Dave there. I mean, in my opinion, this was just quite ridiculous. Not even sure what your motivation was in order just to kick him out, especially when he asked for permission in advance. But, it's your show and that's your business. And just remember that there are consequences to your actions here. You guys take care, and I'll be running down the line as far as the Ferrigno Pro Legacy as well as the NPC Nationals and what I thought of the show as soon as I check out the pictures. But y'all guys have a good afternoon.